Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Okay, so have you ever felt like you're just kind of stuck? You know, like just going through the motions.
Yeah.
Like at work or in a relationship or even just in life generally. And you get that feeling of, is this all there is?
Yeah.
It's pretty common, right?
Definitely.
You're not alone if you've ever felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
So in this deep dive, we're going to explore this whole idea of routine, how we get stuck in them, and more importantly, how to break free from the ones that aren't really serving us anymore.
Right.
We're going to be looking at an episode of the podcast Beyond the Daily Grind,
Okay.
hosted by James and Natalie. They're all about ditching that monotony and finding more purpose. And I thought their approach was really interesting.
Cool.
So we're going to unpack some of their insightful strategies, and we'll hear some inspiring stories along the way, and maybe even discover a few things about ourselves.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how this feeling of being stuck, it's not just, a fleeting emotion.
Right.
It goes way deeper than that. It's like built into us biologically.
Oh, interesting.
Our brains, they crave predictability, that sense of security and comfort that comes with routine.
It's like that saying, a ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are built for, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And actually, that's from Beyond the Daily Grind.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they said that. It's catchy, but it makes you think, too.
Yeah, it does.
Routines can, good or bad, I guess. It could be a double-edged sword, I mean, they definitely provide stability and comfort.
Yeah.
Which we need. But clinging to them too tightly, that can really stifle our growth and prevent us from, reaching our full potential.
Yeah. So how do we know when a routine has crossed that line? When does it go from being helpful to actually holding us back?
Well, James, one of the podcast hosts, he shared this story about being trapped in a corporate job early in his career.
Okay.
And he was constantly busy, checking things off his to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
But he had this nagging feeling that he wasn't actually moving towards anything meaningful.
Yeah, he was on autopilot. He was just going through the motions, but not really engaged.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people can relate to that, right?
I think so, yeah. And it raises this question. Are we just busy for the sake of being busy? Or are we actually doing stuff that lines up with our values, our goals?
It's so easy to confuse motion with progress.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
It's like being on a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not getting anywhere. And that's why it's so important to actually step back and evaluate our routine. Are they really serving us, or are we just serving them?
So it's not about just breaking routines for the sake of breaking them.
Right.
It's more about being intentional about what routines we choose and making sure that they support the life that we want to be living.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes breaking free from a routine means confronting some hard truths, about ourselves, our situation.
Like Natalie. On the podcast, Natalie, the other host, she shared a story about being in a relationship that was safe and comfortable, but ultimately wasn't really evolving.
Classic comfort zone trap. We can get so used to something, even if it's not good for us,
Right.
that the idea of leaving it feels scary.
She said it felt like she was living someone else's life, not her own. And it was a hard decision, but ultimately she ended the relationship. And that opened up a whole new chapter of her life.
Right. What's so inspiring about that? I think it's that breaking free from a routine, it requires us to step outside our comfort zone, embrace the unknown and trust that there's something better waiting.
It takes a lot of courage to do that.
It does.
To walk away from something that's familiar, even if it's not truly fulfilling.
Yeah, but the rewards are huge. Yeah. Stepping outside that comfort zone, even though it's scary, that's usually where the real growth happens.
But how do we know when it's time to make a change? I mean, when does routine stop being helpful?
Natalie had a good tip. She said, pay attention to your feelings. Like, if your daily routine starts feeling more like an obligation than a choice, or it's draining you instead of giving you energy, that might be a sign that it's time to shake things up.
It's like Sunday night dread.
Yeah, exactly.
You're already anxious about the week ahead. Your routine just isn't bringing you joy.
And it comes back to that question. Is your routine serving you, or are you serving it?
That's such a good question.
It's simple, but it's powerful.
Yeah, it is. It's a good one. Okay, so let's say you realize that you're stuck in a rut.
Oh.
What are some practical steps you can take to break free?
Well, James recommends first, you got to take inventory of your daily habits.
Oh, so like make a schedule.
Well, not a minute-by-minute schedule, but just write down everything you do in a day.
Okay.
Then you go through the list, and you ask yourself, what's actually adding value to my life, and what's just filler?
It's like taking stock of how you're spending your time.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Once you identify the filler stuff, you can start thinking about how to replace those with things that, light you up a bit more.
Yeah.
Things that align with your goals.
So it's not just about cutting things out.
Right.
It's about adding things in that bring you joy and purpose.
Exactly. And you don't have to do it all at once. Natalie suggested setting small, actionable goals instead of those big, vague aspirations. So, for instance, instead of saying, I want to travel more, commit to visiting one new place every month.
That feels more manageable than just saying, I want to travel more.
Right. And that's a key part of breaking free from routine. Embrace small changes instead of trying to change everything all at once overnight.
Small steps can lead to big transformations over time.
Absolutely. And remember, embracing discomfort is a big part of this.
Okay.
Because growing often involves stepping outside our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And that can feel weird or even challenging at first, but it's in those moments of discomfort that we often discover, what we're really capable of.
It's like pushing yourself to go to that networking event, even if you're an introvert.
Right.
It might be a little scary, but you never know what opportunities might come up.
Exactly. And Natalie also mentioned the power of saying no.
Oh, that's a hard one.
It is. But sometimes breaking free means letting go of stuff that's not serving you. And that means setting boundaries.
Yeah.
Saying no to things that drain you or don't align with your values.
Yeah.
That creates space for the things that actually bring you joy and fulfillment.
It's about prioritizing your own well-being and creating a life that really reflects, who you are and what you want.
Exactly. And it's not all about individual effort.
Mm.
James and Natalie, they also talked about community and the importance of, surrounding yourself with inspiring people.
Like finding your tribe, those people who encourage you and challenge you to be your best self.
Yes, exactly. Find people who share your passions, support your dreams, or just inspire you to think differently.
It's like having a team of cheerleaders, right?
Yeah.
They're there to support you and celebrate your wins.
Totally.
Speaking of inspiration, James and Natalie shared some incredible stories from their listeners.
Oh, yeah, the stories.
People who took the leap and made big changes in their lives.
And those stories, they're so powerful.
Yeah.
Because it shows it's not just some, abstract idea. Real people, just like you, are out there making these changes happen.
One that really stuck with me was Sarah's. She quit her corporate job to pursue her passion for photography.
Takes a lot of guts to walk away from a stable job and follow your dream. But what's really interesting about Sarah's story, it wasn't just about following her passion. There's more to it.
There's a deeper layer there.
Right. In the podcast, Sarah talked about how photography let her tap into a different side of herself.
Oh, cool.
It wasn't just about taking nice pictures. It was about capturing moments and feelings and stories.
Yeah.
It allowed her to be creative in a way that she just couldn't at her corporate job.
So she found a way to connect with her authentic self and share that with the world.
Exactly. And I think that's a key takeaway from Sarah's story. Breaking free from routine, it's not just about doing something different. It's about aligning what you do with your values, your passions, and your talents.
It's about finding that thing that just lights you up, makes you feel alive.
Yeah.
And that's different for everyone, of course.
Totally. It might take some experimenting to figure that out.
Another story that I really liked was Carlos's story. He found a new sense of purpose by volunteering at an animal shelter.
That's awesome. Even small acts of service can make a huge difference, not just for others, but for our own sense of meaning, too.
What's cool is that Carlos wasn't even trying to make some big change.
Wow.
He just wanted to do something positive.
Yeah.
And in doing so, he opened himself up to a whole new world, really.
Right.
He discovered this passion for animal welfare, found a community.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just about volunteering. It was about the impact it had on his whole life.
Exactly. And that shows that breaking free from routine doesn't have to be some huge monumental shift, It can start with these small steps that gradually build to bigger transformations.
It's like that saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Yes, exactly.
We get so caught up in the big picture sometimes that we forget the power of those small everyday actions.
That's so true. And speaking of small steps, Natalie had some really practical advice in the podcast.
Okay.
She said, instead of focusing on what you want to stop doing, shift your focus to what you want to start doing.
Oh, so it's not just about eliminating those filler activities. It's about replacing them with stuff that's more aligned with your goals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she gave a good example. Like, let's say you spend way too much time scrolling through social media.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of trying to cut back on screen time, which always feels like you're depriving yourself,
Right.
try replacing that with something more fulfilling.
Okay.
Maybe read for 15 minutes before bed, or take a walk outside, or connect with a friend.
So it's about a positive trade-off instead of a punishment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And be patient with yourself, too. Breaking free from routines, it's a journey,
Yeah.
not a destination.
Yeah.
There are going to be setbacks,
Right.
and challenges along the way.
It's like learning a new skill. You're
Yeah.
not going to be an expert overnight.
Right. It
Yeah.
takes time and effort and a willingness to, embrace that learning curve.
Yeah, totally. And just like with a new skill, breaking free from routine takes self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay attention to what works for you, what motivates you, and what triggers you getting stuck.
Absolutely. And that's why James talks about reflection a lot.
Okay.
He wants listeners to ask themselves, is this routine working for me? Is this bringing me closer to the life I want?
So check in and make adjustments as you go.
Exactly. And sometimes that means experimenting.
Mm-hmm.
Try new things. Step outside that comfort zone and see what brings you joy.
It's like trying on different hats.
Yeah, exactly. And don't be afraid to just get rid of stuff that's not working.
Even if those things used to be good for us.
Yeah, even then. Remember, growth often means letting go of what's familiar to make space for something new.
It's like pruning a plant. You got to cut away the dead branches so the healthy ones can grow.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
So what's the main takeaway here for our listener?
What's the one big thing we want them to remember?
I think it's simple but powerful. Break the routine. Take a step, even a small one, towards something that you're excited about. Something that lines up with your values.
Life's too short to just be on autopilot. It's time to take the wheel and steer towards something that matters to you. And you don't have to do it all at once.
Right?
Start small. Maybe a new habit, or just step outside your comfort zone a little bit.
Natalie said something like, instead of trying to travel more, which can feel overwhelming, try committing to one new place a month.
Mm-hmm.
It's about making small, consistent efforts that build up to a bigger change. Don't forget to reflect on your routines, too.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, is this working for me? Is this getting me closer to the life I want?
And if the answer is no, then maybe it's time to look at some of the stuff we've talked about today.
Right?
Take stock, set small goals, embrace the discomfort, say no when you need to, and find your people.
Mm-hmm. And most importantly, don't be afraid to just try new things.
Yeah.
Step outside your comfort zone and see what brings you joy.
Because ultimately, it's about taking back control. Your power to shape your own life.
Exactly.
Create something that truly reflects your values and desires. So as we wrap up here, we want to leave you with a question.
Okay.
What's one small step you can take today to break free and move towards a more fulfilling life?
What's that one thing you've been thinking about?
Yeah, what's that little voice whispering to you?
Could be anything. Finally signing up for that dance class, reaching out to a mentor you admire, or just taking some time to write in a journal.
Whatever it is, hold on to it.
Mm-hmm.
Let it simmer, and then take action. It's when we take action that we really break free.
Yes.
We step into a world of possibilities. So there you have it. Our deep dive into breaking free from routine, inspired by Beyond the Daily Grind.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this has given you some new ideas and inspired you to look at your own routines and habits.
Me too.
Remember, even small changes can have a big impact, and it's never too late to start living a life that feels more aligned with your true self.
It's funny, right? We always think about breaking routines as this big, dramatic thing.
Yeah. Like quitting your job or moving to a new city. Mm-hmm. But what James and Natalie are saying is it can be a lot simpler than that.
Right. It's more about shifting your mindset
Okay.
from overhauling to experimenting.
I like that.
Instead of waiting for that perfect moment to make a change, just try embracing those small, everyday opportunities to step outside your comfort zone.
So instead of eating the same salad for lunch every day,
Yeah.
try a new recipe.
Exactly.
Or instead of always taking the same way to work,
Right.
explore a new neighborhood.
It's about like adding some spice to your routine.
Yeah.
You know, a little novelty, some spontaneity.
And it takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
You're not trying to change your whole life overnight.
Right. You're just playing around, exploring, seeing what you like.
And you might discover something new about yourself.
Exactly.
Something that really brings you joy.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
You open yourself up to new experiences, and you never know what you'll find.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on breaking free from routine, let's go back to that question we asked earlier. What's one small step you can take today to break free from a limiting routine?
Yeah, and move towards a more fulfilling life.
What's that one thing that keeps popping up in your mind?
Yeah, that little voice whispering to you.
Maybe it's signing up for that dance class.
Yeah.
Or reaching out to that mentor you admire. Or even just spending a few minutes journaling each day.
Just take a moment to think about it and then take action.
That's the key.
That's when we really break free.
Yeah, we step into a world of possibilities. So there you have it, our deep dive into breaking free from routine.
Inspired by Beyond the Daily Grind.
I hope this has encouraged you to take a look at your own routines and habits.
Yeah, I hope so too.
And embrace those small but powerful opportunities for growth and change.
Remember, the most fulfilling adventures often begin with a single step.
So take that step today and see where it leads you. And that concludes our deep dive into breaking free from routine, inspired by Beyond the Daily Grind. We hope this episode has encouraged you to re-examine your own routines and embrace those opportunities for growth and change.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep pushing beyond your comfort zone.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.